Hey, everybody. Me and Chris and George are all here. We're going to be having Chris play CrazyStone at 6 stone. We enjoy how easy he makes that look. One thing that's been on my mind since our last time, I haven't taken control yet. Just a second. We had a situation, I think it was last week, where black had a lot of thickness to the outside. And I generally think of, well, we'll just approach, it'll all work out. But he was like, no, black has thickness. Black wants to fight. Don't let him fight. And he played a move that locally was perfectly even, and black couldn't take advantage. I just thought that was like, well, I understand it, but that early? He says, yeah, black wants to fight. Don't let him fight. That's been on my mind. Okay, just showing.
That's good. I like that.
Now,
actually, funny enough, somebody saw that video. A Don player, like 2 Don player from Canada, saw that video and then reached out to me about it.
Yeah.
On KGS. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, so the CrazyStone plays here, and we're off.
Okay, I'll do a start point in the top right corner.
Right, start point.
And I'll do a start point in the bottom right corner too. I'll play C15.
Now, for viewers, something I'm getting more familiar with is the idea that here's white playing the first move in the corner, and here's white playing the second move in the corner. Being the first stone is biggest, second stone's next biggest, third stone. So here, this is the third stone, and he chose to play the second stone in the corner. It's just a theory that's a little more than a theory. And I'm more used to it now.
That's a great way of putting it. 04.
Now, you can touch either one, is that right?
Yes, but I'm prepared to touch the 04 stone because I have the ladder. So that's why I'm going with that particular direction.
Yeah, you've shown this before. Show me the ladder again.
George has control, I think.
I just gave you control.
You gave George control.
Sorry. Thank you. There you
go. So it's in this variation. You can play the ladder like this, and having the stone approaching here intercepts this ladder.
Okay. Now, I hate to take all this time, but I'm really curious about something. Let's have black play a ladder breaker. If black wants to play a ladder, black.
Which one should black do?
Well, it's white's move, so you're going to take, right?
Yeah, white's going to take. Almost always, white's going to take here.
Okay. I was thinking, if black gets the ladder breaker, then how in the world is this better for white? But it's white's move. Okay.
Okay. So white on this board could take the ladder or press at E16. Both are fine. But in general, this result is supposed to be slightly better for white. As far as like, if you study with AI, they'll tell you that white is usually gains some advantage from this.
Now, like you said, this is fine. Would you take now or say, no, that's plenty, I'm just going to go about my business?
I would take now. I'm a big fan of eliminating the algae, especially because the 2 star points are in parity. It's not like black has a particularly interesting next move.
Okay, good. And just take. And we went that one. Oh, and that was the variation, not the.
Right. I don't know what CrazyStone's going to
Okay.
do. Yeah, I'm going to extend. Obviously, this is part of the preparation, but here it can play a bunch of different ways. It doesn't have to play the one that's locally better for me. But I'm happy with anything it chooses, P2 or P3, or and we'll block. Oh, it went the wide one. Gives me a little more chance to bother that later. I'm gonna press the top left. E16. This is
Now,
mostly
in regards to your A group, we're not ready to say it's. I don't know the right way to phrase it. It's like if we were just playing a Joseki, white might respond there.
right. I might pencil the stone or something.
Right. But there's no need because, we're still in the wrong button. Just a second. I hate when that happens. If he presses, you can always give way. And again, you're fine. So you're just alive or out. Okay, good.
I think a lot of people sort of overcomplicate what this corner needs to be. But when white is allowing black to double approach, white's usually not expecting to get more than a living group out of that corner anyway.
Yeah.
So I think if we think about it like that from the beginning, it makes finding Tanuki in this spot a lot easier for people.
Yeah. So we play away. So now we're simply not expecting a lot. Makes perfect sense. White to play?
I'll do a 2-space pincer on the side, R9.
Third or fourth line?
Third line, R9, yeah. This is like reminding me of a very classical game of Go. There's like no crazy modern variations. Everything is like a shape from 30, 40 years ago.
I assume straight out?
If he pushes, yeah, I'm just going to extend. I'm not going to fight this. This is making my R9 stone even better.
Right. I'm assuming you're stone. Let me know if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's another concept that I have to talk about a lot with students, is that stones can improve. Yes, I'm going to extend one more. Stones can improve their position if you play variations that complement them. And this is a complementing variation to white R9, because now black doesn't have R9, which would be a move black could have played here if black had not allowed white to get to that first.
Yeah. So if white hadn't freedom to play another move here, it would be R9. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I played that one. You played that move with the edit tool, by the way. You'll want to probably delete that stone and then go back to the play tool. And there we go. Do I particularly care about the G16 push? No, not particularly. Invade the 3-3.
Okay. Go back a little bit here.
Mhm.
One could say that we're still in the opening and you can go ahead and play whatever you want. I mean, granted, that's fine.
Mhm.
But to me, there's something particular about your move. And that is, for instance, if we were to play here, there's nothing going on up here to make
Mhm.
this more than your totally average normal move.
Mhm.
Similarly here, yeah, we have the left, but there's no way we're going to get it.
Mhm.
It's like really slightly above normal. I mean, you're using something,
Mhm.
but on the right, White's group isn't all it could be.
Mhm.
And we have a 4-4 there, and this becomes an active move while the others are not active. So
Mhm.
that to me is a really big difference. Okay.
Yep, I agree. It also equalized the stone count in the bottom right corner. Originally, White tanukied there and gave Black a 1-move advantage, but because
Uh-huh.
Black never played on the right side first at that point to continue the middle game situation, then White was able to equalize. Yeah, we're just gonna play standard. I assume it's gonna hunt. It does the Hane a lot. Extending would normally be proper here, or F3 would be proper here. Yeah, we're going to go below. I'm curious to see if it's going to double Hane or if it's going to try to extend and build this.
Okay. Now it hasn't played yet, but are you going to follow this pattern?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Now let's finish this up because I have a question about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that Panuki doing anything, but I do see this one doing something.
Yeah. It's true
This
that
one
this
I
one,
see doing something.
yeah, this is also possible, I think. My logic here is I'm going to get in on the left side anyway. So if I'm going to get to the left side in both situations, I can destroy the bottom and get on the left, or I can give him the bottom and get on the left. It's just a matter of, do I want to get on the left in a way where I'm attacking, or do I want to get on the left in a way where I'm invading?
Okay, just a second. Oops. Now you say you're going to get in on the left. What makes you think that?
I have the B3 extend and the B6 invasion.
I see. Because of the free move,
Mm-hmm.
you're saying you can come in anytime you want. And if
Yep.
Black plays there first,
Yeah, it's
he's
small.
pretty much over concentrated, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. I've been coming up with this same conclusion, and I'm like, I want him to have that area because it's so hard to take.
Yeah. I find that this is actually like a very controlling way for White to play the position, and also that Panuki is deceptively strong. It looks like on the surface it should be very easy to attack, but even with Black having all those stones there, you're never going to be able to force White to be anything other than just alive.
So
So
what do you do?
you can just come out with the diagonal, or you can extend in the corner and then push up at F4. So like White's always going to get out. You can't stop it.
Because we just honey out.
Right, exactly. We just get out. So it's like, it looks like it should be something we can attack for profit, but then it just doesn't end up ever being that.
Okay. So for viewers,
Mm-hmm.
we'll just do it this way. Corner's dead now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let them work all the details. So how about instead of that, Instead of that, what?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that Planuki's value is almost always in like its resilience and follow up. It's just a really annoying shape to give white.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play C12 here.
C12. Nice. Patient, calm. Black next can start hassling that group and getting a lot on the left. Very nice. Chris, I mentioned this before, but I really hope there's some viewers out there that get half as much as I do when I just ask you questions. So many of the questions I ask are like, well, isn't that obvious? Well, sort of, but it's these little assumptions you're only 8% sure of hanging around your head. And someone says, no, it's here because of this. It's so valuable. Thank you so much for doing this with us.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. Yeah, I was telling George it could be even worthwhile. I've been wanting to get back into live streaming. If you guys don't mind, I can stream these on Thursday as well. And what that would do is you guys don't necessarily have to be like on the streaming page, but it would allow people in the chat to ask us questions too.
Sure. All that's fun.
Okay, I have to resist the urge to be fancy here. I have to resist the urge to be fancy here.
Is this the fancy way in then Tanuki?
No, it's omit the first exchanges and just wedge the stone at D11 directly.
D.
Yeah, you just don't make the Hane first. You just play this one now.
I see.
But I think for the viewers, we'll just keep it simple and extend. And I think extend is actually slightly better than trying to go for this anyway. It's just when white wants to avoid getting like this weird over-concentrated group here, white can play that D11 move to try to get black to start a fight. And then white can sacrifice.
Can you show us a little bit of that?
Yeah, it's like white just wants to try to, like, if black connects, I mean, it's easy, right? White's going to capture. But if black cuts, white can extend. It becomes a really good fight for white when white has this wall.
I see.
So usually black will have to just extend and then white can Hane again. And the whole idea is even if white is like losing some stones, like this fight is going to be a good fight for white as well. And then if something like this, whoops, not that one, then white has the ability to, there's a couple different ways. You can do it like this and then settle the outside, or you can do the, in some cases, you can do the drive to clean up the outside. And this prevents white from getting over-concentrated locally. That's why it's the quote-unquote fancy way. Even though white makes a small local concession, white avoids the bad shape and having to pay that dividend out over time.
I see.
Yeah.
And here we can see that, white looks narrow, and I don't know about over-concentrated since we're fixing a cut as we do it, but still, just, the other way looks way better.
The other way is hard, though, for people, I think, so I'm just going to not do that one.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. It's hard for people. I'm just kind of new at learning it.
Okay, I'm going to push at G2. The timing of this one might seem a little bit interesting now, but actually, whereas before it wasn't so big for white to wrap around with a double Hane, now it's representing a really good reduction from center. So I think it's a good timing to make this push, sure up the last demanding area I feel like black's going to have.
Now that's worth looking at. If we play this now and he does whatever, what is this really coming into? Black hasn't made a statement about the center. So who cares? And what are we really doing? But in the game, you waited.
Yeah, in the game I had played C12 in that spot. So if we go back to the normal variation.
I'm trying. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah. There we go. Now, black just said, oh, I'm doing center. Then this becomes Sente. Very nice.
Yeah. This is I remember when finding timings like this used to be invisible to me. At 5 down for the longest time, I would never see these moves. It just doesn't occur to you, right? Like you see it the moment where you first think about it, and then it's not good there, and then you forget about it. You just relegate it to, oh, it's endgame. And for the most part, it is an endgame move. You know, G2 is not really attacking or defending much. I was already alive anyway. But it's like when your opponent is developing the center, it's like recognizing that G2 becomes a very important reverse sente.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know if reverse sente is really the right term for it. It's more like a double sente, because usually you're going to answer black's turn, but
Yeah.
it's like a really huge move that's like mutually beneficial, and it becomes as important as any mutual base move or mutual growth move in the opening. It's like, I remember when I learned that, it was like a level up almost immediately.
Yeah. I think for a lot of players, they see it as, isn't that just a point?
Mm-hmm.
You know, white just gained 1 point. Yeah. Just think of this as huge, which I absolutely do. It's just, yeah, I remember that not being the case. Okay. So when black plays here,
Yeah.
could you explain to me
Mm-hmm.
how, can you paint a picture of how you see the center? For, are you giving it to
So
black? Are you,
I'm thinking black is going to get, at this point, I'm probably going to give black either this, or I'm going to give black this. Black
okay.
is not going to get both. So it's just a matter of me deciding which one I want to give him. If I want to give black the center, for example, then I'll probably aim for the Hane Connect. If I want to destroy the center from black, then I'll probably aim for something like B. That would be trying to give black the side. Right now, I can do either one, I think, because as far as territory goes, I'm leading. What I'm thinking of is if I ignore this area to take a big opening move, I'm looking at C here. Can I treat the A and B spots as a Miai, or does black have a way to try to guarantee both? If black plays a move around A in the corner and I have to answer, let's say B3, on the surface, that doesn't do enough to give black the whole left side. He still has an invasion at C9. So I'm not convinced that black can get both if I Tanuki. So in situations like this, my inclination is to play the C point and be patient, because black doesn't have a single move territorially that's in parity with this now. This is the single biggest point on the board. It's like the last big place. And I'll let black choose which side I'm going to come in on, A or B, based on how he plays next. That's kind of how I think about it.
Yeah. So, if black's area looks urgent to you, you'll make a decision, the A or B concept. And if it's like, you know, that's, black can't do all that stuff in one move, then we'll be more patient. Nice. Black, white.
Yeah, hopefully it's making sense to our viewers. I think it's a really instructive moment, because a lot of players would see this moyo, and I know especially Q players, a lot of my students, they have a problem where they see, oh, black's trying to get something, I need to be jealous and invade it immediately. It's like, but you know, even Chochi-kun waited until the very last minute, right? So understanding the sort of, even though we're in the middle game, there's one big opening point left that never got played. And at this point, there's just nothing urgent and nothing in parity with it. And that parity detail is key, because if black doesn't have something that's worth the same as this, then this move should be pure profit for white.
Okay.
It invaded. Nice. Good job, robots. So I'm doing a couple of calculations here. I'm trying to think about where I see the game going and what I think is going to be important.
Uh-huh.
And I already have a good source of territory. And I know I'm going to be preparing to handle the bottom left side. So I want to find a variation that's going to give me the easiest time doing that. And so if I play R16 here, this would be the normal Joseki, right? We would bump on top and then Hane in the corner and black will get to the side. That looks to me like that's counterintuitive to what I would like to be doing here. So I'm going to play the R13 Olgema in this corner. And this is my invitation for black to take all my territory. I have a philosophy that when setting up for middle game positions, territory that we emphasize in the opening is only as good as money we can spend. And I'm spending my corner territory right now to buy into center stocks.
Yeah. So I'm understanding the idea that, you know, you're going to be able to grow your center as you diminish black center. I mean, this idea.
Mm-hmm.
But why wouldn't you do it here?
You could do either one. The main reason is because I'm noticing in the future, given my shape in the bottom right corner, black has really annoying moves like the R10 attach or the S9 attach or the R11 like sort of attack pinch.
I see.
So I'm adjusting the local Joseki to accommodate the Aji around A, B, and C.
I see. So because of this Aji, you're pulling it back a little bit. Very nice.
Yeah, I'm already giving him the corner anyway. I'm okay with giving him a couple more points. You know, if giving him that territory was going to make or break the game, then I would have no choice but to bump, and this whole variation would be bad.
Yeah.
I'll block that in Q17. I just want to get a nice stick shape to the middle. And I want to see if it's going to live the good way or the bad way. The good way would be S14 jump. The bad way would be the R15 Gosumi.
Are you immediately looking in this direction at all?
It's a consideration for sure. But because black hasn't reinforced, because black hasn't reinforced the corner, I have options there later on. Is that exchange worth it? Here I have to remind myself to not get distracted. Because my first immediate inclination is to play R16 and then block. Locally, that would be the strongest method. But I think in this case, I don't actually need the exchange in the corner. I think I just block on top is fine. Because the risk with blocking at R16 is that black is not guaranteed to connect. And that can give black some tricky stuff inside later.
I see. So just here?
Yeah, just block. Yeah.
Okay. So black's alive now, right?
Yeah, he's going to be alive, yes.
He's not alive yet?
I mean, he's close enough to living. He's close enough to living. He's painfully alive here.
And you're not concerned about this?
About him growing the bottom? No, not at all. Because that doesn't change that I can still come in or reduce from the side.
Okay.
M7 is not one move that turns that off. If it was, I would have stopped it, 5-10 moves ago.
Okay. That's true. The center has not changed since our last look at it, other than white's now more capable than ever. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think black continuing in the corner is smart. It's a case of not so much can black live locally now and just leave it at the cusp of being alive. Black doesn't want white to grind an extra 5 points out of this corner. Although now his Hane is far less impressive. I'll play the R16 push here. I think this is a better timing. Of course, watch. I'm going to review this with AI, and it's going to tell me I should have started with this one. That's usually how it goes. I make these decisions, and I think teacher's going to be proud of me, and then it tells me I'm bad all the time.
Right.
Yeah, now this way, white has basically converted star point Shamari, which a lot of Q players think when white does it, white's trying to get corner points into thickness. Like this Shamari is almost never about territory, unless the opponent gives it another move. Atari. So I'm getting exactly what I wanted out of my 017 stone here. One, two, three. Okay, yeah, Hane at S12. I should clean that up nicely.
Now that's Sente, but if it wasn't Sente, you're happy to just play away.
Yeah. Now here I wasn't sure how it was gonna yeah, I wasn't sure if it was gonna cut in the corner or if it was gonna try to be fancy. But cut in the corner seems definitely correct here. So now this result, black got exactly what black said black wanted. Black got to capture my corner. He got no resistance capturing the corner whatsoever. A lot of players here, at least students of mine I know, will look at this and go, wait a minute, isn't that better for black? He just got all the points.
Right.
So we're going to play H9 now. Actually, let's do G9. Let's do the shoulder hit. I'm feeling adventurous. But the benefit that I get is that now when I play...
You're thinking that this is, I'm not sure I want to use the word safer, but rather, I mean, you're getting the center stuff that's so valuable, or you're actually thinking it's more safe than this?
I was just thinking H9 is the normal shape for coming in. It's hard for black to counterattack it, so it has a relative degree of safety. I switched to G9 because I'm looking at the board and I'm like, well, I'm pretty strong on the right side, so I might as well go farther.
I see.
Part of the problem with my game at a high level is that sometimes I don't take enough risk. Not that I need to take risk in this position. I think white's better, but in general, if G9 can do H9's job better, then I owe it to myself to at least try to play the better move. I'll jump out.
Jump?
Yeah, one space jump. The key with this type of thing is Sabaki with an interesting emphasis on direction of play. White is very interested in moves around N8, which this move sets up for, and anything else that can grow the upper right naturally. So even though I'm focusing on the local center area, in the back of my mind, I'm paying extra special attention to the global direction of play.
Yeah. Yeah, your choice in the upper right is really paying off here.
Tari. I'll just 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 52. Okay, I will play the Tiger's Mouth at K8. Yeah, like this, the center is sufficiently reduced. White's not going to die here. It's just a matter of how much territory is black planning to get. We just connect. There's really nothing better, I think. Because black can play F7 and get a good chunk of the left side, but it's still reducible. There's really nothing left for black in the center. So if white is allowed to get both, I think the game is going to be sufficiently over. I don't really see where black is going to catch up the territory. I'll play nice move. I'm not. Just nice, simple. We get out. Connect back home. So here it's making a statement that my upper left group is weak and it's going to have some attacking potential. We'll push through a G16. How profit-oriented do I want to be here? So I have a couple choices. I can try to take the remainder of the topside territory. It would be kind of greedy, though, I think. It would give black the chance to attack me. Or I could just play safe. This is where I have to resist my own urges to be super territorial. I'll just push. The variation that I was thinking of, I can show it real quick. The other one I was considering here, just
There
for
you go.
players to sort of see what I was thinking, was something close to this. But in this shape, even though it's like white is attempting to take more territory, we can just look something like this on the top side. It's a lot worse for white's group on the left here.
Yeah.
And actually, just reading in my head, I'm not exactly sure how this group is going to live if it gets to this point. So rather than risk that when I'm already leading, we just play simple and make the group alive with as few bad exchanges as possible, hopefully. Do I push one more time or do I go to the corner? How much do I care about his turn in the shape? Turn. I lose squeeze, but black is super thick. I'm gonna push one more time. Just avoiding getting squeezed here. Later I can aim inside, box the thinness here if black's not careful. Not that it's really gonna amount to much. This whole area is just gonna resolve itself into mostly dame anyway. Dahane. Okay. How adventurous. Are we trying to make a claim that there's a future with the R12 cut? I don't think that future is real. I think that future is fake. So I'm going to go ahead and... What's the best order of moves? Sorry, I have to read.
Okay.
This one's making me read now. That's not fair. Somebody should tell the AI that making me read is like cheating. Sorry, exchange necessary. Okay, I'm going to push a F17. Normally we don't make this one. Usually it's a bad exchange, but I'm putting as much pressure as I can on this cutting point. Cut at G18. Which one will it choose? It does choose this one. I was curious about it. Cut. We're gonna give up the one stone. And then we'll just settle by the standard attachment in the corner.
This way?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, it does go
I'll
that way.
assume that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we're gonna force him to go down. I'll follow him at C18 to complete the shape. Now with this, the bulk of the group is alive. There is a cutting point with the E16 stones, but those stones are mostly endgame, and they still have the K15 Hane and ways to escape that way anyway. So the cut is not particularly problematic, I think, for white. I don't need to make that exchange, but if he does that and adjusts the liberties, does that matter? Okay, we're just going to clean up the Aji Tari, C16. I'm always iffy about whether or not these exchanges are necessary. Usually black doesn't push there anyway because black has to come back and capture, but black would short me a liberty and create 2 cutting points, so I would just rather not deal with that. And I'll attach a H14 here. This one is a very sort of...
that might be worth talking about. Later, black has this opportunity, but it's go take. Yeah, but now white has 2 cuts. While if white does it right now, white has no cuts.
Right.
So it makes sense to, yeah, this bothers me a little bit, so I'm going to clean it up. And then you said what, H?
14, yeah. 14? This one, very basic idea. If black doesn't extend the cutting stone, then I can Atari it and it's caught in net.
Yeah. So this is a commitment to save that large tail.
Yep. Yeah, so here extending was one of the options I had considered. I wasn't sure if it was going to do this or if it was going to try to Hane and get something else. I'll push down with it.
This way?
Yep.
Because we're approaching a cut and we can get closer. This is essentially to kill or cut, which is another way of defending. Okay.
Yep. Let's see, what will you do? Oh. That one, huh? Connect. Now he's running into this point where he's going to die with the E15 group again if he's not careful. Oh. So he says he doesn't care and he wants to threaten to cut me first. Fair. That is a fair statement, I suppose. I'll diagonal here N8.
Now, throughout this whole thing,
just clean up the cut and move forward.
And you're like, this is always this big territory that black has to worry about. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like always black's burden to worry about it too. It's like never my burden to care. If I get it, it's great. If I don't, then I never really had it in the first place. Yeah, I suppose that's a way to locally punish, isn't it? I exchange that first. Is that working? Nah, we'll just block, I guess, at L9. Like locally, this is technically a punishment for my diagonal, but I don't think it accomplished much, to be honest. Outside of making me thicker. Whoa. Tetsuji's skill is really great. Hane at 09. I didn't consider this move by black at all.
Yeah.
Sneaky. I'm not really concerned, though. The mission stays the same. Descend to N7. We'll ask him a question about his cut and the extended warranty on my 2 stones. This is probably the second or third time we've gotten a Joseki like this in the corner against CrazyStone, and these two stones at 05 have proven to be quite useful.
I'm assuming that.
Yeah. Oh, so he did want to claim that this cut was real. Oh, interesting. Extend to S11. I still don't think it's real, but Black seems to think it's real. Maybe this is where I get into trouble. We'll see. This has been a really interesting game. I feel like in general, in the second half, it's handled this game a lot better than the first. Maybe that's the strength of this particular AI at this level. Nick and Toby at L13.
L.
Yeah.
I assume Phil?
Certainly something. I'm thinking push through at M10. There's no way it doesn't block, right? Cut. And then extend to the right, 011. I'm still representing that H12 descend, and I'm also representing the K15 cut. So I'm not super concerned about dying here. Yeah, the peep is always his benefit. Connects.
So this is a place where Q players can get pretty confused because we had our week A group, we got the week B group. While he's got a C group that's in trouble, he has a D group that's in trouble, and having that all organized and getting the timing right can really be a hassle.
Yeah, I agree. The best way that I've found to just try to handle it is just always defend your weakest one, and try to defend in a way that gives you more options for defense later, not ways that take away options for defense later.
Yeah,
that's one of the big ones I see a lot. I'll do a one space jump, L15.
I guess
this is another probably scary part for some players because this invitation is about to make this fight even bigger.
Yeah. So what you said earlier, so in this position, just as an example, we have our 2 week groups. Okay. Black plays here. It's not natural to now defend A because B's the one that's been attacked. So like defend your weakest, which almost saying the same thing is defend the one he attacks.
Mm.
So in one way of looking at it, it's pretty simple to fight because he attacks you, you defend.
Mm-hmm.
It's not exactly as simple as that, but
Mm-hmm.
okay. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
Yeah, Hane, K14. I guess I should call that Tiger's Mouth. Yeah, so the invitation here is for black to extend up with the peep and the knight's move to seal me. It's a bit of a risk for white, for sure, but I don't think it's enough for black to kill me. I'll connect. Black has a cutting point at K17 I can abuse, and black also has the fact that I can still play a move around H12, which is me two ways to cut him.
Yeah.
So if he accepts this invitation and I drive the fight towards the top side, it's going to be very, very difficult to avoid H12 just being a finishing move. And that's kind of where I see this going. Now the question is, do I turn and then jump, or do I just get away with L17 directly? I think I can start with a Tessa G, L17 peep. This one's a very basic Tessa G. If he pushes in, I turn, and I'm threatening to cut two ways. Okay. Yeah, we can just escape, turn. Push out.
Okay. So you got out.
Mm.
He's left with some difficult cuts. What else here?
Kosumi here at 014.
So we're seeing that the A group is losing its eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, from the beginning, this was all about, can he do B successfully or not? You're thinking, no, his cut, I don't believe him. And he's thinking, you better believe me. So we have that fight. But as a backup, the C stones, the D stones are weak. The moment he steps back and fixes, then you fix yours and it's over.
Mm-hmm. And if he doesn't fix, then I strike at H12 and it finishes him. Pretty much.
Yeah. So he plays here.
Oh, the attachment.
I had the wrong button on, just a second.
No worries.
Still the wrong button. Come on, KGS.
Hane? Now, there's a world where extending is definitely better than this. Because the Hane is going to be better for cleaning up R12. Extending is better for dealing with white black P16. But he chose to crosscut here instead of going for the top side, which I find very interesting. He's going to do it this way. Atari at P15. I mean, he's guaranteed to capture the top three stones and go to anyway if he wants them. The only reason I'm not concerned about it is because, again, if I get to H12, the game ends. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for, is for him to lose the tempo. It's going to happen at some point. He can't keep it for forever. Capture. This one is losing points for black in endgame. This is not good. And by that, I mean black. It was always black's right to get P16 and then cut, but black is losing that now. Atari at Q12. Just nice.
I see. You're not quite alive up there. Gotcha.
Yeah. It's just like worse for black because black, there's a future where black is able to cut at P17 and get the whole top side. That's a lot of points. But black doesn't have that future by playing this way in the center, and white's going to live anyway. So in terms of the end game, considering he's still going to have to fix the H12 problem at some point, it's a loss in end game of quite a bit to have played this way in the center. What's the best way to go about this? I'm trying to cut off my middle and suggest that my middle is not alive. Atari at Tengen.
Okay. I need to look at a few things here. Boom. 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 Okay. Our C group, he made it so that 1 is not an I, virtually 2 is not an I. It's just lacking in I's. So when you play 3, okay, taken care of. Therefore, the C group, which is the B group, finally settled, healthy, no issues at all. Our A group, he just made a statement, you're cut off, and we only see 1 eye so far. For himself, you've been looking at, well, let's actually put it on the board. It used to be 2 cuts. If he fixes this way, he's got a cut. But now he can connect. So this thing you've been planning just lost some value.
Yep.
And I assume you're now focused on, let's just make sure my A group is alive. And as I do that, if I think I need a couple points, I'll test if I'm just alive anyway.
Yeah, we're just going to go to an end game now, which I should be doing better in because he gave me back the top side.
So what was your move?
Tengen.
Why?
Well, I have 1 eye in the center, right? If I play Tengen, I'm alive. Now it's 2 eyes, and I can do whatever I want. And if I can't play H12 to cut him off anyway, then there's really no better move in the center now.
Now, why wouldn't you try to get your eye in some way that's growing in? Because there's not an eye?
Yeah, it's not clearly an eye. I can just live now and then go back to there anyway. He's got too many gaps here.
So just live, and then you have the freedom to do whatever.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Make myself immune from all future harassment. It's very much my style, especially if I'm leading. I like to clean up my algae as quickly as possible. I hate that ambiguity. Sometimes it's how I lose games when I try to do things different. Which is, I mean, all part of the learning process. You know, maybe there's a world where that move at like F7 or something is just objectively better. I don't know. Yeah, we'll connect. This connection taking the liberty while connecting is nice.
Yeah. Yeah, this is getting more and more interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you were saying this has been a long what?
Long fight. Usually the game's over by now. We call it because you're
Mm-hmm.
obviously ahead.
Mm-hmm.
You're
We're going to
taking.
capture, obviously. Yeah, we're going to capture. No reason not to.
Now that's still not an eye yet.
Mm-hmm. We're going to fix it on the next move, L7.
L7.
Yeah. Now it's me.
Now it's me. Okay. That means we can count. I'll just look at the score estimator.
I don't know how accurate the KGS
It's
score estimator is.
Yeah, it's way off. Yeah. I'm going to do my count. And why don't we both count and compare? Okay.
Sure. This one should be 10. This one I'll just give 2 lines, and then for black we will have this. I can't really give black any territory there yet. Just gonna err on the side of caution and call that 10. Okay, so for me it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15, 23, 4, 5, 6. And then with prisoners, black has 3. 5, white, 2, 4, 6, 10, 12. 10, 21, 2, 4, 6, 31. 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 51. Comey. Yeah, I have white pretty cleanly up.
Bye.
If I'm factoring in potential endgame already at this point, I have white up by like 10, 15 minimum.
That's exactly what I had.
Yeah.
I was going to say 10 bare minimum, but I'm counting 15.
Yeah, like
good.
Yeah, it's like that range.
Okay, very exciting game. We've got to see a lot of interesting fighting, how to make choices. Video is going a bit long, but we have no choice but to look a little bit here. Yeah, not expecting a lot here. We talked about that. Play away, got that going on. This, because it's the active area where you have some level of desire. Give it up, no problem. Boom, that's nice. And then in we come. That's so nice.
Yeah.
We come in, not yet. Let's do this first. Calm, rational move, very pretty. Yep. And you could do more here.
Yeah.
Fancy move does more. Okay. But I'm glad to see this because this is what us mortals would do. Yeah. And now that, because of that, and play away. Play away. What are you joking with that huge moil? Well, there's gaps everywhere. There's problems. There's weaknesses. It just can't be that urgent. So that's a big move. Even though you're going to give all those points away.
Yep.
But you either get a big corner, big territory, or outside thickness. Very nice. That move I've never seen before. I've seen, these and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not an opening position. It's a middle game position. So adjustments must be made to accommodate the global state of affairs.
Yeah.
That's the big thing, right? Like for low to mid down players here is don't just fall in the Joseki trap and block it like R16 or something. You know,
Yeah.
actively think about what's important on the board now and what's going to be important in 20 moves, and adjust your moves in the corner based on that. It's okay to take a local loss here. As long as the local loss, you know, the game is still more or less even and you can get a benefit afterwards. I think the first half of this game was really clean by me, and I think the second half was a good demonstration of how to remain calm under pressure. Because Black posed a lot of practical chances to come back in the game, and White had to defend. I don't want to say I defended like perfectly accurately, but White had to be accurate enough with defense to not collapse. So
yeah. So here, if our right side wall was not so great, you're saying let's back off.
Yeah, I really either this one or like J9, something that's harder for Black to counterattack.
Yeah.
But since I think counterattacking is not really realistic anyway, I'm going as far as I can. So
and that allowed Black to get a pretty serious counterattack.
Yeah.
But you're going, no, with a wall like mine.
Yeah.
Now, in the end,
Mm-hmm.
the cut a day is interesting. You might lose the B stones,
Mm-hmm.
but you'll always have a counter trade.
Yep.
Very nice.
Yeah, we discovered relatively early on that that's what Black was looking for. It was very apparent that Black was aiming for the cut.
Yeah, you stated it. Oh, he's going to try this. He's going to try this.
Like it became very obvious once Black played the Hane here that the intention was to aim at R12. Like the minute I saw the Hane, like locally, it just doesn't make sense. It's like this Hane is usually not possible in this spot unless that stone has a future somewhere in the direction it's moving, and the only future is at R12. So it's like, okay, this is something I'm keeping in the back of my mind now. That's something I think a lot of people would miss in the Hane here. They would just assume it's a relatively normal move or an overplay, and they wouldn't consider the ramifications of what's coming in their moves. But immediately from now, it's about whether or not that cut's real.
With the AB weaknesses, we're pretty sure we're going to be getting C. That's like where your easy life is going to come in.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just hit it saying, okay, what are you going to do? He says, you're right, I'm going to play this way. Great. Then I get that move. And then when I play here, he can't cut me successfully anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Do the Atari, why not? Clean it up.
Yeah.
And I assume at this point, you are willing to give up the A-stones.
Yeah, in hindsight, it might have been better to at least temporarily offer a sacrifice here. Like, if we imagine a variation like this, where Black cuts, White captures, Black extends and kills, and then White plays, I don't know, L11 or something.
Yeah.
You know, something like this is a realistic future, because Black's gain is only 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 points. It's not a lot.
And you already gain more than that.
Yeah, so this one is probably the easier method for White.
Yeah.
H14 was a bit heavy and is what allows Black actually to have a substantial claim that his cut is real.
Yeah.
But it's also exciting. So
this was exciting.
But so this is a case where you know, even I sort of got distracted a little bit. I saw H14 and thought, oh, I'll just get a very easy attach in Hane, and then I'll just drive out and settle, and it's not going to matter anyway. But then I sort of missed during the game that it wasn't as easy as I thought.
Yeah.
Which kind of caught me off guard. And then once it became a splitting attack where we both had two groups to manage, that's where the game becomes like a contest of technical proficiencies, I guess.
Good.
Those games are always hard. In general, for Q players, you should try to avoid these. Yeah, it was actually this exchange at J15 and this attachment at 08 that sort of made me step back and go, oh, my H14 was very ill-advised.
Yeah.
Because I actually didn't consider that Hane Connect play at all by Black. So that was just something I overlooked. In a tournament, that could be the end of the game, you know, if we're not careful. So I'm willing to say that's a big mistake in consideration.
Yeah, you had a real easy path and you chose a difficult one.
Yeah.
God, all Go players, that's like a mantra. Oh, went the wrong way.
Yeah, even pros, you know, so that's all right. Yeah, but once, like, so here, starting from now, like, Black always has the right to capture the 3 stones on the top when I come out with the Kosumi. Like if we look at the game as it played out for the next couple moves, this is something I was alluding to, but we didn't actually play it out. So I can show that really quick. What I was considering here. When white plays this Hane here, like there's a world where connecting is better, because against the connection, if I can fight it, then I have this option. But the problem is black can extend, and it's not the cleanest thing in the world to read. So Hane gets rid of the Aji here, but the problem with getting rid of the Aji there is that it opens up this move to black. And if I connect in this shape, there's this cut, followed by this descend. And the group on the top side is cut off if I try to save them. So what ends up happening is when this gets played, I have to connect. And at any point, black can play here.
Yeah.
And so this is, if black gets this, this is not... This whole thing is now territory. It's like a swing of over 15 points. It's really big. But the benefit to white is that now black is no longer connected back to A. So my B move is still a finishing move.
Right.
I can make up a good chunk of that loss by pressuring the center. And so that's kind of the trade-off here. I'm going to get stable and capture one side or the other, either 1 or 2, and that's the plan I was reading. Black, of course, did what black is supposed to do and tried to resist that plan, but this move is technically a loss in endgame because now black does not get A and does not get the top side.
Yeah.
So in endgame, it's something equivalent to about 10 points better for white if the game goes to Yosei. So basically, black has to end the game now, or black took a loss.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was just
okay.
Clarifying
Good.
That was.
Very excellent. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Next Thursday, I'll have the OBS set up, and we'll be able to have the comments hopefully from Twitch as well, like the actual like BDK and SDK questions.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks much, viewers. We'll catch you next time, and everyone have a good tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.